that all the plants are doing well. So that's my stress. Luckily, a lot of it comes into just the knowledge of knowing the right plant in the right place. So an aerodynamic palm on the top of a 50-story building in Toronto to the right plant on a 7-story pool deck in Miami or Del Rey. It comes down to just being the right plant in the right place.
We're trying to create a biophilic design patio and in the interior. And we're using different types of native plants. These are fishtails. These are very unique palm grass. These are old-fashioned palm, grandfather palms, and yarrow and things like that. So I try to coordinate different leaves and different heights and different structures and things of that sort. I can't tell you the amount of people that have walked into a space I've done and they say they go there to pray. They go there to connect to their God. And you're blown away that your space or your creativity with a designer and with what you do and with your team, and it really moves you of going, okay, this is the right path and I want to stay on that path. It's very intrinsically rewarding, not monetary, but intrinsically you know that you've affected somebody's life in a positive way. My plant journey started at a very young age. I was very fortunate. My family had a lot of property in the north, so I lived on about 10 acres. At age 13, I had a beautiful garden on my own, and my only nemesis was the deer. So I was very fortunate to be around camping, hunting, fishing, dogs. I spent most of my time reading Thoreau and Whitman and Emerson and studying Fibonacci, just of how these people observe nature, and they help me observe nature better. My father also, he was one of the premier people with interior landscaping. So I lived in a tropical greenhouse my whole life. So I was around tropical plants. We bought and we sold and we shipped and we installed. So I was very fortunate at a young age to be working with growers and designers. So that's kind of where I got a lot of my feel. For many years, I studied agriculture and horticulture and I was a grain trader in my 20s. And then when the grain embargo came, then I went into trading fixed income products at a place called the Chicago Board of Trade and became a trader. And then did that for many, many years. And then that open outcry price discovery then migrated to computerized trading. So I was given a very nice opportunity by a very large company that I work for, and they gave me a severance for about a year. And I just took that happy and changed my life and started thinking of other paths. And I wanted to get more into nature, which is intuitive, versus the financial world, which is more transactional. And I luckily came down to Florida and I saw there was a niche for creative design. So I kind of got into that. And then it basically has just kind of exploded on me in a nice way. The nicest thing is, in regards to what I do, is just the people I meet. The growers are amazing. The designers are amazing. The owners are amazing. So I'm very fortunate to be around people who want to create beautiful spaces, and then they bring me alongside to to help them do that. And I definitely see the bottom line, whether it be at hotels and restaurants, that these spaces that are biophilically infused definitely outperform places that are not as conscious of the attractiveness and the bringing in of greenery and things of that sort. So when plants are above you, people just feel a certain way. There's an intuitive bond between people and plants, and that's all I try to do is bring that in. One of the fun things about working with restaurants and patios and hotels is sort of each place is different. So obviously this is Asian themed, so we're going to be using Japanese jade plants. We've got Japanese weeping podocarpus. We bring in beautiful oil drums, bamboo, and things of that sort. So this is sort of the design fun stuff. But then also you have to think of the functionality. Behind this whole wall is a glass windows with a gym in it. So we had to then functionally think of how can we close that off so people who are spending a lot of money having a beautiful dinner aren't also looking at people who are sweating and working out. So it's a combination of functionality and a combination of artistic. Was up here. However, this morning, my team and I, we came in here and hand trimmed everything here and fertilized it because spring is coming. And so we want this to be fuller come spring, coming into the end of summer and fall. So it's smaller right now, but then summer comes and it will blow up amazingly. Is I like to try to merge small leaf and large leaf plants, something like this and that. I just think it's handsome that they go together. Plants are nothing more than positive energy. And the more I can get plants in an environment that looks natural and authentic, that's my goal within my biophilic designs. When it comes to favorite plants and things of that sort, for me, living in the tropics, subtropical, you need what's called a slow metabolism. So the slower the plant grows, the more durable it is, the greener it is, the stronger it is. So I try to stay with slow growing plants, such as lady palms and bromeliads and things that just have a sense of them. Not fast-growing things like flowers or perennials and geraniums and impatiens. I try to stay with things that really have an essence, and they're slow-growing and they're strong. I believe that plants, and I know for a fact they have an ultrasonic vibration about them, but there's something else. And I don't know what it is. Most people don't know what it is, but I believe it. I see it every single day with people going, oh, wow, and I'm so curious about the, oh, wow. What is the, oh, wow? One time I got a phone call from a woman, and she said, it has come to my attention that you're a very good gardener and designer. Could you please come to my home at 10 o'clock? I'll have coffee and blueberries served for you. So obviously I was very intrigued by that and met this beautiful young lady at her young age of 97. And she looked at me and she said, I'm not long for this earth and I will die shortly. I wish for you to produce a garden on my patio because it will be the last thing I see before I go to heaven. So that pretty much affected me of how I see how people interact and how they think of plants. It's authentic and people feel it, so it's real. Who doesn't want something that's real and authentic and wholesome and positive? At least I want to stay in that universe.